Oh, that was a tough loss for the Chicago Bears. As a matter of fact, I just walked a couple of people who were in the bar hanging out. They left because they were so distraught that the Bears lost. But listen, I was sitting there on a Twitter space just a moment ago. People are outraged. People are angry. People are upset. And you know what? That's a good feeling. It's a good feeling because we expected to win the game. That was the biggest thing. A lot of times you go into these games, and I think that any time that we were losing in halftime in the Matt Nagy era, we just kind of figured like, we're losing. Game's over. Nothing's going to happen. But for the first time in a long time, we come out of halftime expecting to win. You get the ball back. You get the Giants punting. Being down 8 points, you were bummed because you thought we were going to drive down and tie the game. But there's a lot of good things going on. And you know what, Sammy? Let's start the show.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Adam Ray.
Trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown.
The sickest Chicago Bears and fantasy football podcast. Brought to you by Underdog Fantasy and Air Pura. Sports entertainment like no other. It's gonna be sick.
By the way, if you're still bumming out because your Sunday did not work out the way that you wanted it to, go to Underdog right now, download the app, and I will tell you what, Underdog Fantasy, it's the easiest way to play fantasy sports. It's simple to get started. Just head to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app and sign up using the code SICK, and they will match. There's Skip right over there. They will match your entry fee up to $100. Listen, if you're bummed out, you're like, how do I rectify my Sunday? Go to Underdog Fantasy right now. Download the app. Have some fun. There's some good afternoon contests going on. There's a great Sunday night game, great Monday night game. Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Make sure that you join if you want to participate. But here's the thing. Let's go over the negative right now. Now, I know that all the kids will point to that one play where Justin Fields was running, and I forget who it was, but somebody was breaking down the seam, and Justin Fields missed him. Guess what? That's going to happen. It's going to happen for a little bit. Listen, Justin Fields is still getting used to playing. He's working on his footwork, working on his throwing motion. There's a lot of things going on. His swing thought, so to speak, is going to be a little bit different, and it's going to take him some time. You know what? Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, those guys don't miss those throws. But guess what? Those guys are like 80-year veterans. Justin Fields is still learning how to play at the NFL level. We can cut him a little bit of a break. I would have loved for him to make that throw. What we need to focus on are the things that went correct today. Now, obviously, we can dwell on this. In the first half, the bootleg stuff was ridiculous. But again, this is the one thing. I know how upset you are. Watching Daniel Jones running a pair of scores is awful. It's not the way you want to live a Sunday afternoon. It's awful. You don't want that. But at the same time, in the second half, the Bears shut that down. The Bears made the adjustments. How many times did we go into a game last year with a lead at halftime, with a lead in the fourth quarter, and you're like, I don't know. I don't know if we can hang on. I have so much confidence in this coaching staff that what we're seeing, like, okay, they're going to stop doing that. And, of course, they still made some plays running the bootlegs, but they shut it down for the most part. I think that you just need to realize it's a different world at the moment. Okay, we made some adjustments, some mistakes were made, but listen, this team, we understand. To me, coming into this game, when I did the preseason predictions, even as a guy who thought we'd win 10 games, I thought this was going to be a tough one to get. I thought this was going to be a tough victory. I still expected it. I still wanted it, but knew it was going to be a tough one. So they made some adjustments in the second half. That needs to be rectified. They need to stop running backs. By the way, They need to stop running backs. Not every team has Saquon Barkley. A lot of what was effective today for the New York Giants stemmed from the fact that Saquon Barkley is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Let's not just dismiss it. It's not like Matt Breida was out there crushing. I know Matt Breida had some runs. That's all set up because Saquon Barkley is out there. Let's at least acknowledge that. We want to see some more consistency, but listen, how many times did you see Justin Fields step up in the pocket, make good throws, avoid the rush, do some nice things, pick up some first downs with his legs? I think, to me, if you really want to be critical and if you really want to be upset, you got to punch in one of those field goals. 4 field goals is not going to get it done. And I know that Eberflus and Getsy have kind of leaned towards being conservative. In the coming weeks, we're going to have to try to convert those into touchdowns. You can't, thank you, sir. You cannot consider, it's fine. Once you get that first field goal, you want to get the first points on the board, it's fine. And listen, by the way, I got to point out, we had a festive crowd here at Rip Beer Company in Huntington Beach, California. PCH location will be here next week. But here's the thing. I was as conservative as anybody. And I'm like, let's take the points. Let's build some confidence. Even the first 3 field goals, I was in. I think the 4th one was a necessity because of the down and distance. At some point, but overall, whether it's 4th down or not, that notwithstanding, at some point, you got to start converting those into touchdowns. Will that be easier when David Montgomery returns? Perhaps. But you got to figure out a way to get the ball into the end zone. I put that on the coaching staff. I think if there's a critique, I think it's very fair for Bears fans right now to sit here and be like, listen, you got to convert those. Those need to be touchdowns. You can't allow that to be, you can't allow all those to be field goals. You got to, at some point, you got to be expected. But again, if I'm going to be toxically positive here, the team was moving the ball. No more 3 and outs. Moving the ball, sustained drives. Whether it works out, I know there was a couple of 3 and outs, but still, the offense was moving the ball down the field. Again, everybody who's sitting here over the last couple of weeks who's pissed off because this team is 2-1, like, I just want to see them progress. If you don't think that the offense played a little bit better today, then you're just not watching. You're being willfully obtuse, and you're not paying attention to what is going on in the field. So while we would like to see more touchdowns, we would like to see more dependable plays, we would like to see some guys hold on to some balls, we would like to see Justin Fields. Listen, it's not a perfect, it's a work in progress. But there were times where he trusted his protection, stepped up in the pocket, delivered some throws. We played the second half without Cody Whitehair. So to be able to go out there and get some experience for some guys, that's a little bit of a positive. Again, I don't want to sit here. Listen, it does no good to sit here and complain. We didn't expect this team to win the Super Bowl. A lot of you were sitting here going like, this is a 7-win team. This is a 6-win team. Well, guess what? We're a third of the way there. And we are very competitive on the road. Back in 2018, when this team was fully operational and ready to go, so to speak, they lost the game to the 3-8 New York Giants. It's fine. Let's get ready for Minnesota. Minnesota's a different thing. And Minnesota, am I getting it right? Is it Minnesota? Who cares? I don't even look. I live in the moment. This team is 2-2. When you laid out the schedule, and even the most optimistic person was like, look, I'm looking at the schedule. I think we can win the 9 to 10 games. I still expected this team to start off 2-2. So if you would have told me at the beginning of this season, we're going to start off 2-2, wins over the 49ers, and be 2-2, I would have taken it. It's not a defeatist attitude. It's not holding the team accountable. I think we hold the team accountable. There were some plays. And by the way, Bayless made a mistake. We're moving on from that. Kyler made some mistakes. We're moving on from that. Let's not dwell in the negativity. There are some positive signs. If you want to go out there, you want to earn your keep by being overly critical, if you want to fire the offensive coordinator or the coach already after 4 games, do what you got to do. I am remaining positive about this team. The better days are yet to come. And with that, I know people are looking at me. The Bears fans have now filtered out. It's turning into a Patriots bar now. But in any event, thank you so much to Rip Beer Company for hosting us here. PCH location will be here next week. Thanks to Underdog Fantasy for being great. By the way, Air Pura. If you need an air purifier, I got one the other week. Oh my God, it's been a dream. Air Pura. If you need an air purifier, if you're like, oh, you're harangued by wildfire seasons, if you're harangued by your kids going back to school, bringing home all sorts of viruses, listen, get an air purifier. I'm going to tell you what, you're not going to regret that decision. And big thanks to all our sponsors and everybody here. It's going to be okay. We'll see you Tuesday night. Take it to the rank. Carmen Vitale and me. We'll be back. We'll be ready to go. We'll be breaking it down. We'll be looking forward. Thanks to everybody for being here. It's fine. We're going to be good. And Sammy, go ahead and play us out and bear down.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Adam Rank on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. Brought to you by Underdog Fantasy and Air Pura.